All right. Well, once again, we are back live in the man cave. Another Sunday night. So, another time for us to talk Polk County basketball. This is Polk Hoops, your number one source for high school basketball in Polk County. We do appreciate y'all taking a little bit of your time to hang out and rock with us tonight. We don't take it for granted. Very appreciative, very grateful for it. So we got a lot to discuss, a lot to unpack from the week that was and the week that is to come. So before we get started, I want to say what's up to the All-State coach.
What's up, Coach? How you doing?
Hey, I'm good for a Friday, not Friday, for a Sunday night. PG, yes, he'll be coming along shortly. PG had a long night, so I know he'll jump in, but we're gonna go ahead and get started. The show must go on, as they say in show business. And before we get started, I want to say congratulations to the only. I'm sure it's more, and I'm sure they're going to claim it. You know, but for the three Philadelphia Eagle fans that I know, my son C.J. Barnes, congratulations. Ladarius Higgins, Coach Ladarius Higgins, congratulations. And my uncle Johnny Willis, congratulations. I'm the only three Philadelphia Eagle fans that I know. Now I know it's going to be a whole lot more, you know, now, but I just want to go ahead and say congrats to y'all guys for um, getting to the next step. And, you know it's a game going on right now, but we're going to go ahead and get started with what we're here to do. So, Coach, I don't know if you got anything, since the PG now, I don't know if you got anything in the coach's corner, but if you do, here's yours.
uh, First of all, Coach, I want to shout out to PG and his TBS crew. You know what I'm saying? Going all the way up to Athens, Georgia, and bring home another championship, Coach. Like,
Yeah, man. They
it's
said
legendary.
they're a problem, Coach. They're a problem right now, Coach. I
Not
don't know
only did the varsity win, the JV won also. So,
JV won, and they won the grand champs. I mean, it was the best thing there, boys and girls, and they beat a boy team that's like really good. You know, it's a team called GOV that's like real good. And they're a boy team out of like DC area. They knocked them off too. So, I kind of follow them. I got a little vested interest in TBS. So yeah, that was all that they had to go through and go up there and win and won grand champ. So that was a big deal. So
I got one thing for you, Coach.
yeah, they're
All right. So, there's been a lot of talk, especially in the last 24 hours, with the LeBron James call, right?
yes, sir.
Um, Also, I seen a play today in the Philly game with the one hand catch on fourth down early in the game, where they kind of showed that the ball shifted and it probably shouldn't have been a catch. My thing is, referees are always going to get criticized. So, is human error a part of the game, Coach? Where I mean, how do you take that? I mean,
Is human error a part of the game? Yes, sir. But at this point in the season, I guess, especially, we watching the game before the Super Bowl, I guess the thought process is that you're supposed to have your strongest slash your best officials on the call. But like you say, even having said that, they're still human. But although there is human error, I don't think that is accepted. It's definitely not excused. I saw a quote, and I was going to talk to you and PG about this. I saw a quote today on social media. It was a coach from South Georgia, no, Southwestern College or something like that. I don't know. Southwestern College, somewhere in there. But he said his tweet was that coaches, no, he said referees. Make sure I write it right. I wrote it down. Coach Mack from Southwestern College. He says no one credits the refs when they win. So you can't blame them when you lose. How many coaches, and you've been at this for a long time, how many coaches have you ever heard gave credit to the refs when they win the game? You get a whole lot of them that get credit, get blamed when they lose it. But I thought that was interesting, coach, because if you look at it, how many people say, "Yeah, man, that was a great officiated game, man. That just helped us to get over the hump, and how they let us play or how they call the game really impact the game." But we see all the time on this page and just in general when it's a close game, like you said, we highlight the bad calls, we blame them, but do we ever give them credit? So so it is human error, but did that, I guess you could say the LeBron foul was with a, now, and this thing, it was a foul. They missed it. Now today they're they're apologizing for it. But 2 points. If it was not LeBron, would it have been as publicized? And if he didn't react like he did, rightfully so, would it also have been publicized like it was?
Probably not. It was definitely added to it because it was LeBron. And shout out to Patrick Beverly, bro. He pulled an OG move. He pulled an OG move afterwards. Like with I don't know where he got that camera from, but I thought that was classic
Yeah,
by
that
Patrick
was that
Beverly.
that was that was very comical. But he Patrick Beverly, so he be so intense, man. He just yeah. But so was the referee wrong for popping him?
No,
Yeah,
he was gonna get that one.
yeah. You got to pop him, man. You can't not get that. You don't walk you don't walk out there with a whole camera like. All right, them people know they missed the call at that point, but there's something to it now, coach. As a coach now, you hear coaches all the time say, and I know we used to say it. I know I show used to say it. Let the kids win the game. Let the kids win or lose the game. Y'all
Facts.
stay out the way. So most coaches would prefer that the refs don't involve themselves in the game down the stretch. So if the referee's going off of that mindset, how you going at them all crazy when I'm confused? One minute you want me to stay out the way and let y'all win it, be men, but then you want me to blow the whistle. It's like, which is it? Can't have it both ways.
Can't have it both ways, coach. Can't have it both ways. So
Cause, Cause who don't say that, coach? Who don't? I know you the same way, man. Let the kids win it, win and lose it. Put them whistle up and let them go for what they know. That's what most
yeah,
real coaches want to happen. They don't want you involved in it down the stretch.
yeah. I mean, at that point in time, I'm a express my disgust for them missing that call. But at the same time, we in overtime. It's time to refocus and try to get, the W in overtime. There's nothing we can do about it. The play is gone. Ain't no sense in dwelling on it. You know what I'm saying? They missed the call. You know what I'm saying? But then again, as a coach, I miss some things too. My players miss some things. It's not gonna be one play that determines the game, but it just shows up because of who it was and when it happened. I mean, it's Lakers and Boston, probably the two best NBA franchises ever.
Lakeland, Boston, Saturday night prime time. So I get it, and they missed the call. I mean, he got fouled,
They
so
did.
nobody's disputing that he got fouled. It's just like you say, it is human error involved. But when do we allow for it? Do we do it's human error, but we don't allow for it, coach? And like the coach said, how many people give credit to the refs when they win?
Yeah.
I mean, the refereeing is a thankless job. You never are going to get it right. You're going to be wrong either with the team that lost, or you sometimes we don't find out this year you that way when the team wins. So it's like what you do.
Coach, I got called about a situation. I think it was D2 or NAIA. I guess the refs were bad the whole entire game. Finally, at the end of regulation, teams like the number one team in the country, they win by two, right? Before the ref leaves the court, the coach go at him, and he's barking at him. He's going off. And before they leave the court, coach, they pop him with a technical. All
Okay.
right, they pop the coach with a technical. So guess what? They got to go back and shoot free throws. Girl hit 2 free throws. They go into overtime. You know what I'm saying? Game had expired. Time had expired. You know what I'm saying?
So the, so the game was over.
Game was over. But
Wow.
it's not over until those referees leave the court and get into the locker room. So before they left, they hit him with a technical. They come back, put the girl on the line. She hit 2 free throws. They go into overtime. Crazy.
I just my thing was, like you said, you argue a call, but I haven't seen one time where a referee changed the call because of an argument from a coach. So it ain't like, yeah, man, I blew the call. Let's go ahead and get the guy back to the free. They blew it. They blew it. It's like you carrying on and you continuing on, and it's not helping anything. I mean, once they miss it, they miss it. You know what I'm saying? Like what you. I mean, I know it's easy said than done, but it's just like once you done made the call, I done made my point. Ain't like you're gonna change the call, so we just gotta keep playing. So, and that's easier said than done, especially when you're dealing with kids. It's they know they done call and got booked and missed, then it's hard for them to move past that, and sometimes it's hard for the grown ups to move past. It's hard for the kids to move past because the grown ups is kind of hanging on it. So um, it's just refereeing is definitely not for the. I just talked to somebody earlier about the Kathleen Lakeland game Friday, and they were saying how it was very intense. I'm just gonna use the word intense. It was very intense, and feel like the officiating could have helped with it to help to kind of control the game. So it becomes a lot more important officiating does this week and next week because this week girls districts, next week board districts, and so now you figure that I guess playtime is over. I don't know if playtime is the right way to do it, but it's time to get the you know your best, your strongest people, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you define your best? How do you define what that looks like? I know it used to be a thing where they kind of let the coaches kind of rank the refs. I don't think they do that no more. I don't know. Maybe they do, and I just don't know. Um, but you figure you gotta have um, strong officials. But do we have enough strong officials to make sure that things are as they should be?
I mean, that's a great question. It's according to who you talk to, because I know some people that I think are really good officials that some coaches do not like. You know what I'm saying? So it's subjective. It's very subjective. And to your point, coach, I think it's still you still can do this. And McGriff hit me on the game as soon as I started coaching in my first year. Like basically before the district tournament started, we used to conform a list of officials that we wanted and submitted it to the association. Like a week or two before. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, you want it's win or go home. Especially back then, it was win or go home.
Want to go
You know,
home?
unless you made the district championship. So we wanted to try to even that playing field as much as possible.
Coach Higgins, in our pregame, I gave a personal shout out to the three Eagle fans that I know of. I said one was my son CJ, youngest son CJ. Second was you, and the third was Michael Johnny. So congrats to you and your Eagles on getting to the show, getting to the ship, coach. So yeah, we had already. It is basketball, but we gave you shout outs in the pregame for you guys. You guys look real good today. know my boy up there in Pittsburgh freezing, but he happy. He the only one that like Philadelphia, so he gets a lot of issues with the Pittsburgh folks. So shout out to y'all three fans that I know. I know it's more people gonna be like, there's more people gonna be like, oh, I've been an Eagle fan, so but I know you, CJ, and Uncle John are the only three I know that's like diehard. So shout out to y'all. So hopefully, Coach, that bodes well for people if they're still doing it that way. Because like you say, it's y'all this week, girls, and then it's boys next week. Um, so we it could easily be you just don't want to you don't want, and it's tough with the official because you don't want the official to decide the game because they make a call, but you also don't want to decide it because they don't make a call. So what do you? I mean, what's the happy medium, or is there a
I mean,
happy
coach,
medium?
it's not. I mean, it's a no win situation as far as officiating goes. That's why, what I'm saying, when I'm an official, it doesn't bother me either way. You know, if I made a mistake, I try to own that mistake. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind telling the coach, like, hey, coach, I missed that, or, going forward, anything like that. But my thing is, as a coach going in, what I try to tell my team is let's try to eliminate them from the game. Let's not let them, inject themselves to put them in a position where they have to make a call. You know what I'm saying? So let's try to take care of our business on the court and eliminate the officiating.
That's the thing you gotta coach your kids up on. Like you say, we used to say it's our fault if we, like to your point, allowed officials to dictate the game. We got it. I mean, we didn't do what we were supposed to do in the first 28 minutes to the last 4 minutes. They become an issue, So we got to take some ownership on what we can do because we can't
Fact.
do anything about the whistles. Nothing
And
we
they
can do.
usually set the tone early, and you really got to make an adjustment. If they're calling, everything early, then you just got to make an adjustment as a coach and as a team. If they're not, they letting you play, then adjust to that. But even in practice with my girls, and even when I had boys, and even when we coach travel ball, man, we try to you know get them to play through things. You know what I'm saying? Like we really have tough practices so they can play through that type of stuff. So
That's the only way you can prepare them. Like you say, you almost have a no whistle practice. We used to have no whistle practice. I don't care what happened. We ain't calling no foul type stuff. Just so that was like a on the road type deal because you go on the road and you just don't expect nothing on the road. And so we just it's a no whistle practice, and we never told them when it was going to be, but they figured out pretty quick when it wasn't going to be a no whistle practice. And I'm used to be the roughest one, like you say, be catching up about ready to fight, and catch fire a little harder when they know you ain't getting, you ain't gonna get the whistle. So you got to be a little tough to play through that stuff, and because you just never know when you're gonna walk up on the game. Like you said, they calling everything. If you breathe on somebody, they calling it. Or next time you don't cut them, you can see blood and they still ain't calling. You just like what you do. You got to kind of be able to adjust. And for kids, that ain't as easy for kids to do, but it helps when the grown up doesn't buy into it. When the grown up buys into it, it kind of the kid gonna follow the grown up, so the kid gonna follow the coach. So we always try to make sure, like you said, we may bark on it for a minute, but then you got at some point you gotta let it go. You can't be hanging on it 3, 4 trips down the floor later. It's 10 things that happened since then. But once again, it's easier, much, much, much easier said than done. Um, but it's definitely gonna be an issue. I just hope that the Lake Region Basketball Officials Association, gets it right as far as who they have officiating. Now, this is a question that I have. So we got girls districts this week within everybody playing. So most people play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. But there are going to be some people that play their district championships on Friday, right? Pretty much guaranteed. How well balanced? I don't know if balance is the right word. How well balanced would it be for because the Mosaic is Friday, and you got some good games at the Mosaic. So how do you ensure that you get quality rest for that event? Because you got some heavyweights on Friday, and then also ensure that the district championships that'll be played on Friday are also getting quality officials.
I mean,
Because you want quality. You don't care if you just want quality so you can have a shot. And at this point, we know what quality officials that we have without us saying names, and we also know some of the officials that probably ain't quality. We'll leave it around there. Um. All right. Mr. Pickett. I think I see the profile picture. I think that's Pastor Pickett. Um, Pastor Pickett. As far as I can speak when I was coaching, we used to always want two things. We want you to call it be fair and be consistent. And if that means that you're going to let them play, for example, say if we hand checking and they hand checking, if you're gonna allow the hand check, then allow it on both sides. Um, if you're gonna allow the arm bar, you know, allow it on both sides. And if you're going to allow it in the first quarter, you can't start calling in the third quarter because now we done coached our kids up. Okay, they allowing the hand check, so you got to play through it. And so sometimes when we say let them play, we saying that I mean, sometimes they don't. That does mean don't call the fouls, but we just always say be fair because if you're gonna call it close, call it tight, do it that same way for both teams the whole time. If you're gonna let them play and you're gonna let stuff go, and we have to coach our guys up, you got to play through some stuff because they ain't calling it. But just be consistent with it on both sides first of all, and then be consistent the whole game. You can't get to a point where third quarter you got a different whistle than you had in the first quarter, and that's what when I was coaching. I can't speak for now because I ain't coaching now, but when I was coaching, that used to be the most frustrating thing for coaches. And I know when I ran the summer league, that used to be the biggest gripe with the coaches was we confused. So as coaches, we confused on what you're doing and how to coach our kids up. So how the kids gonna know how to adjust to how they playing based off of how the whistle can change from minute 1 to minute 32. So to answer your question, Pastor Pickett, I don't know if you want to jump in, Coach, but that was my thing. You're gonna let them play, let them play. Be fair and consistent, but be consistent the whole. I used to tell them, that's all the coach wants you to do: be fair and consistent, and don't size them like they kids. You know how some of the referees would be like they don't want to talk to the coach. That's a grown man, first of all. Speaking from the boy side, that's a grown man you're dealing with, and so you got to give them some respect because you want respect. You can't just put your hand up on people and put your whistle in your mouth like I'm a child or something. So it's like some of them used to get behind them stripes and get get that liquid courage. But we just used to be just keep it, fair and consistent on both sides. If you're gonna let them be men, you're gonna put the whistles up, put them up. If you're gonna call all of it both sides and do it the whole game. And we just have to adjust. That used to always be our thing. So,
Coach, just to add on to it, from like official standpoint, the way I look at it, and discussions that we have usually before the game, and it's basically about if one team basically gets an advantage or not. So if one team you have a play and one team gains the advantage, then the whistle should be blown. You know what I'm saying? My objective is to make sure that the game is fair. You know what I'm saying? We keep a good flow and just make sure that we get all it just make sure that the game is fair on both sides. So there is contact sometimes, and sometimes, me, and I'm only speaking for me, I let it go sometimes because if the kid doesn't fall down or, you know, the defense doesn't gain an advantage or he kicks the ball out of bounds, maybe I'll let it go and that kid continues to go, he ends up making a layup, what I'm saying, just to see the playthrough. Long as, either team is not gaining an advantage, sometimes as an official, I let things go. But like you said, it's so subjective between one person to the next. My thing is if my partner makes a call, all 2 or 3 of us got to be consistent on that call for the rest of the game, because that's what you expect. From the rest of you don't set the tone that we're gonna make this call. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it's human error. Sometimes we miss it, sometimes you don't. But you just try to be as consistent as you can.
Yeah, and that's the thing, coach. I don't think no coach is expecting an official to be perfect, but the official trying, and like you said, they're being consistent. And just the thing, like you said, you call, and then and it's a call that's in your zone, and the referee comes in your zone to make a call, or like you say, if your partner is calling the hand check and you not, then that's where you kind of, like you say, all three of the officials got to be on the same page too. And that, once again, when I did coach, that wasn't always the case. And that's where the frustration came, because it's like you don't know what to expect.
Hmm.
As long as the coaches know what to expect and they coach their kids on what to expect, then most coaches in my time that I've spoke to can live with the outcome, as long as, even if it don't go their way. Um, Now the fans, you can't do nothing about the fans, but I'm saying the coaches, most coaches can rock with that and be okay with that. And so hopefully, like I said, that's what happens. I know in some cases with officials, and I know it's not as easy as people think, just to put an official on the game or put three guys or women on the game. It's other factors that come into place with, if they got affiliation with a team, or things like that, or they got a history with the coach, or they done been a coach that asked for them not to officiate. So it's not as easy to schedule officials as people
Yeah.
might think or realize. That's a lot of kind of behind the scenes stuff. But just hopefully, since it's officially playoff times for the girls, and it will be playoff time for the boys next week, that they can do the best that they can. It's a lot that folks don't know. But if you're letting them play, I think most coaches want their kids to to decide the game and not the official. Like you said, unless it's something just blatant that you just got to call,
Hmm.
it's something that you can just let them play through it. Um, um,
Yes.
so, Coach Blicker, yes.
Yes, it's mandatory.
So they girls usually get two during the regular season, but they get three once the season over, right?
Yeah, it's mandatory once you get in district play.
Yeah. So okay, that was a good topic, Coach. So we're gonna move on to the week that was. Had a couple of interesting matchups that took place during the week. First, on the boys' side, we had the rivalry game over in East Polk County. Had Warner Haven travel to Arbondale. No, yeah, Warner Haven traveled to Arbondale, and Arbondale was able to pick up the um yeah, it's tough to officiate. How did basketball ever get away with two-man crews? Because you look at three-man crews now, and even with three-man crews, they get a whole lot of it. So how did we manage? Cause and for years it was two men. So how did we ever manage with just two officials, coach?
Coach, I don't know.
You look back at it, it's like a Polaroid camera. Like how
So
we even did it, coach?
when you only have 4 eyes on that court, man, it is tough to see everything. It is tough to see everything. So even when you have 3 officials, it's tough.
It's
So
tough.
so 2 officials, especially when you in a like a rivalry or a physical game, it's just tough to see everything. There's no way you can cover the whole entire court.
No way in the world. I'm like, I was thinking that the other day, like, how in the world we was doing? We That's all we knew. Like three-man crew now is what's the norm, but right, that's all we knew was two-man coaching. So I think we kind of coach different because of the two-man crew. I, Maybe I'm wrong, but do you think that it's more? It was less checking of officials when it was two-man crew than now. I guess you got extra set of eyes, so you figure they should get it more. But it's like you just dealt with it. Like, okay, you went in expecting some stuff to be missed. You went in expecting them not to get everything. Um, but that's That's just crazy, man. It's like we did that for some.
Man, Coach Harris tough, boy.
Hey,
Coach, you tough,
Coach,
man.
Coach Harris. I mean, I would need what they say when they be doing the whole official thing. I would need to confirm or deny the statement. Those are the thoughts and feelings of Coach Preston Harris of Sebring High School, not Polk Hoops. Even though we laughing, um, even though we laughing, Coach,
But
but
you know
now
what, Coach? You know what I did the last couple of years that I coached boys? Um, I mean, I knew those teams were pretty good and that, we was going to make a playoff run. I made my AD request 3 refs at all my home games. Like, if I gotta pay for it out of my budget, then so be it. My thing is we gotta get them prepared for that. We're gonna see 3-man crews in the district playoffs and in the state playoffs. So, I wanted 3-man crews, at all my home games because that's the only thing that we can control. So we made sure that we paid for 3-man crews for our varsity games, and we just went about it that way.
I just, as we talk about it, I just thought, for a while, those guys has been at this for a little while. It ain't always been three people out there. It's been
Uh,
two people, and it's almost like, and that's a shame, Coach Hagan. I know you get it. I know you got experience with it from the admin side, from the AD side, but like you said, it's not fair. It's not right, but it's done a lot. Like you kind of try to prioritize the game as far as the level of it, and that dictates sometimes how many officials that you get. I don't know if it's like everybody. I know Lake Region officials. I know I've seen where they're like they need officials, they short officials, so they're doing the best they can with the roster that they have. So I understand that. So it's not a like I said earlier, it's not an easy thing to schedule officials. Um, I just was thinking, Friday night it's gonna be I know at least two, probably more, at least two girl games, championship games is on Friday. And you got the mosaic on Friday. So you figure that you figure they're gonna have to get some quality officials over there for the mosaic
yeah.
for at least the last two games that they playing. Nothing against them first two games, but the last two games you figure you're gonna want to get some quality officials for that event. So that takes away from some of those district championships. What should be priority?
I
Should
think I mean this is just my personal opinion. I know they have crews for the playoffs already. I think you keep those crews together, and like one of your top crews has to do one of those district championships. You know what I'm saying? But they have several crews. That I think they have enough to fill it though to make sure that those mosaic games have quality officials along with those district championships.
okay, because at that point it won't be as many people playing too. So
Yeah,
you'll be able
that,
to so that's unfortunate for the people that will have put you know jerseys to the left, shorts to the right. But the people who still putting them on, they should get some quality officiating, and that's all we want. So, all right. So, Winter Haven at Arvindale, and Winter Haven was very impressive. Um, they look like they are getting themselves together for the stretch run. They got a tough week this week. We're gonna talk about it a little bit. They got a tough week ahead of them. So, Are we more impressed with Winter Haven's performance, or are we more disappointed with Arvindale's performance in that game?
I won't say disappointed.
Disappointed
Um,
might be the wrong word. My bad.
I'm concerned though.
Okay.
Um, Armandale came out of the gates this year playing very well. The first half of the season, they looked like they could make a deep run in the playoffs, and I kind of still feel that way. I think they dropped some games, in the second half of the season, that they probably shouldn't have dropped. Um, in this Winter Haven game, I didn't think that Winter Haven was 20 points better than them. Do I think Winter Haven was a better team? Yeah, of course I do. But Arbondale at home, it's Arbondale Winter Haven. I expected like that typical rival game. So great thing is that they have this week to get better and to prepare for the district tournament next week.
Now, the tough thing about Arbondale, to piggyback off your point, is, and to Coach Blicker's question, they're they they're having personnel issues at the wrong time. I mean, it's never a right time, but I guess not this time of the season where they got injuries. They've had some player personnel, um, roster issues that just came about. So I guess it's not the same Arbondale team that started the season, but this is the team that they got to make the run with. So, like you said, you got to line up what you got, but um, they definitely are in a danger zone type of issue. I don't know. And I was talking to somebody about this Friday, I think. When was the last time that? I mean, we know that Winter Haven has swept Arbondale before, and Arbondale swept Winter Haven. That's why it's a rivalry. When the last time that Winter Haven win both games, or either team, Arbondale, either team win both games like so convincingly. Like both of those wins was convincing. It wasn't like a doubt, I guess, for lack of a better word. When was the last time that's happened? I don't know if I can think of a time when that rivalry that a team has dominated the other team like that both games. That
No,
was
I can't think of a time
rivalry.
either.
Yeah, that
But like
was.
I said, great thing, coach. You got tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You have tomorrow. You know, the season's not ended yet. You have time to, get in practice, get better. You have time to fix some things. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you have to, adjust accordingly. As a coach, as a player, you have to do whatever's necessary in order to get you and your teammates ready. So at least there is tomorrow, coach. You got tomorrow. So it's not
Rose.
it's
Uh,
not a hit the panic button, but it's got to be a sense of urgency.
what's the Tevin Campbell song? Tomorrow. He had a song about tomorrow. I almost played it, but I ain't want people in Arbondale to be upset with me. Um, they would have been. So, and then yesterday we had the no, we had more than that. We had another couple good games last week. So let me flip back so I can talk about them. Um, we had Lakeland and Kathleen actually ended up being better than I think some people thought. Kathleen has picked up them a Christmas present. I don't know if it's Christmas is the right word, but they picked them up a present toward the end of the season. Got a big transfer in, like 6'9", 6'10" kid from St. Pete. And they played Lakeland pretty tough. I mean, they ended up losing, but they played Lakeland pretty tough from the reports that we got. So, and the thing about the district coach, you only got to be good for 8 quarters, and you're in the playoffs. Really, I mean, if you look at it that way, I mean, well, if,
Depends
you,
on who you are, coach.
if I'm a 4 seed,
You're a 4 seed.
I'm good against the 5, and if I beat the 1, well, I guess you got to win a district, so you got to be good for 12 quarters, I
You got to
guess.
be good for 12 quarters, coach. But it
And,
depends on what district you're in and the way things looking like now. You got to be good for 12 quarters.
I
Like
mean,
last year, you could be good for 8 quarters and be fine. And like I said, we got 4 teams out of a district last year.
yeah, yeah. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Do we think we're gonna get multiple district people? We'll talk about girls for a little bit too, and then boys. And just once again to piggyback, we talk about girls more than we have because we've been asked to do so. But there is a a page or somebody called Polk County Girls Basketball that's covering girls basketball in Polk County, and they're doing a pretty good job. So we try not to go overstep. We never would do that. So that's why we don't do as much because we're gonna always be respectful. But we'll speak on a little bit about girls in a little bit. But and then we had the Bartow Victory played this past week, and Victory ended up pulling away and win. It was a close game for a little bit of it. Then Victory kind of pulled away, kind of down the stretch. And any thoughts on that, Coach? And then we moving on. Then we move on to the hoop shootout that took place on Saturday yesterday.
Coach, I think what was more impressive to me in that game, I think Micah Dino went for 28
Yeah.
in that game. So if you got LJ scoring 28, 29, and now you got somebody else scoring 28, 29, like I said, that makes I think that makes Victory a dangerous team when they have multiple people that can put the ball in the bucket like that. Shout out to Coach Fitz. I think Coach Fitz did a great job with his schedule this year. He has beat some good teams, and he has played some good teams. I think it's going to prepare him and that team for for the goals that they set out for this year.
One thing, and we said the kind of same thing about Winter Haven, which Winter Haven finishing up this week with a tough schedule. They definitely ain't running for nobody. Both of them teams will be. They're not going to be. I don't know if afraid is the right word, but it's not like when they walk up on one of these like heavyweights that they look like they're gonna have to play. They won't be the first time they've played a heavyweight. So it'll how they end up, we don't know. But like you say, to Coach Fitzgerald credit, he's done all he can from a schedule standpoint, and Coach Woodside to get their kids ready for what they possibly can see. Um, Coach, what's his name? He's done a good job of scheduling, which you do every year. Coach Blicker from Santa Fe, Griff do a good job of scheduling, and Lakeland, just considering that they started after everybody. I think they played 5 games in a row, like 5 days in a row. They had a game. They played Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Then turn around and play Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
That was I wouldn't have did it. But they did it and they won all five. No, they went 4-1. They went 4-1.
Went 4-1, and the one loss was against a top 10 team in the state, Coach. So
Top 10 team in the state, Coach. So I mean, teams are scheduling people. So we gotta and in years past, Coach, we ain't always scheduled people. We can sometimes I don't want to say we run from it, but I don't know if run's the right word, but we avoided scheduling tough, and we're not doing that this year. So shout out to the coaches that are going to play people and line up to play people. But yeah, the Polk Hoop shootout, the first game, Sickles beat Lake Wells 52-46, low scoring game, which is crazy how Lake Wells just scored 93 against state champs. And also scored 46 against Sickles. But Sickles sit in that zone, and they real good in that zone. They've been playing that zone forever, like Syracuse. So the second game wasn't a Polk County game. It was Hillsborough Seminole. Hillsborough and Melbourne. And I think Melbourne won that game. Third game was Arbondale Seminole. Arbondale won by 12, 53-41. The fourth game was Lakeland against Tampa King. Lakeland won 75-71. They were down 16 at one point. They came back and pulled it out. And then the last game of the night, Windermere Prep. It was some it was some Jimmy Dean on the grill with Windermere Prep and Discovery. Unfortunately, Windermere gave it to Discovery 77-46. So if you just count the Polk County teams, we went 2-2, 2-2 on the Polk Hoops event. So anywho, so that was the week that was. So we're gonna go with the week that is. So we're gonna start off with our final girls top five. Since girls playoffs start this week, this will be the final top five of the year. So we got a tie at number five this week. We got a tie between Lake Region and Discovery. Number four, we have Avon Park. Number three, we have George Jenkins. Number two, we have Lake Gibson. And number one, we have Winter Haven. So once again, girls top five: one, Winter Haven; two, Lake Gibson; three, George Jenkins; four, Avon Park; five, tie between Lake Region and Discovery. Any thoughts on the final regular season girls top five, Coach?
Coach, we really took a look at the Florida high school rankings on this one. Um, we was just talking about tough schedules, and Lake Gibson had one of those tough schedules. And if you look them up, their strength of schedule is very high. But also, if you look them up, they did not lose to anyone in the area. All their losses came, from outside of the area. So I think deservingly so, that they move up to number two. I think the other teams are where they're supposed to be. It's going to be interesting going into district play this week because of strength of schedule. You would think some of these teams will be higher in their district seating than what they actually are, but that's not the case. But like I said, rely heavily on the Florida high schools rankings this week to finish out the last week of the girls.
So while we with girls, like we do boys, district start this week. We know that Winter Haven is there regardless. Um, do we have any other locks? I know we still got to go play, but regardless of how it lines up, we got any locks on the girls' side, and how many do we think we can get realistically to the White House? Or the old head's called the White House. Now it's called the RP Funding Center. So to make sure I say it for people can understand both versions: the old heads with the White House, new heads with the RP Funding Center. What's your take, Coach? Do you have a take? I know you kind of can't say as much because you kind of locked in. So if you prefer to,
Coach, I think Lake Gibson gets in regardless. I'm pretty sure that their mindset is to go out and win their district championship. But even if they don't win, I think they get in. Discovery is in a really, really tough district, and they'll win their first game, and then they'll line up against Bishop Moore. And I know we played up against Bishop Moore earlier this year, and they are really good. And if Discovery goes out and beat them, they win the prize of playing Lake Highland Prep. So it's just not going to be easy um, in that particular district. Those are the three districts that I looked at. Was the one that Discovery um, was in. I looked at Lake Gibson's. Like Lake Region has a chance if they can. I think they have to win the district to get in though. But I know regardless, if we win or lose the district, we get in.
does Jenkins get in at large?
Um, Jenkins might be in that same predicament that Hardy was a couple years ago. Was that 2 years ago?
They had
Um,
tough when they had all them wins and no slip.
yes. So right now Jenkins is a 4 seed in the district, coach. And if they win the first district and they play us in the semifinals, I think the last time I looked at it, they was outside of that top 8 in the region, so that will make them have to win the district to get in.
Okay, so we're not predicting. I know earlier for boys we predicted what like nine preseason. We predicted like nine. I think nine boys teams getting into the playoffs. So over on the girls 5 at a fair number.
That's a fair number.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll post the girls' top 5 tomorrow on the page, the final one for the season since the playoffs start this week with districts. We'll post the girls' district like matchups also on the page as they, you know, after play. You all want to go check out the girls and support them. All right. So we're gonna move on to the boys' top 10. Next to the last one for the regular season. We can do one this week, then one next week. Number 10, Lake Placid at 16-5. Number 9, Davenport at 16-7. Davenport had a kind of rough week and they lost like three games this week. Had a tough week for them. Number 8, Bartow at 13-10. Number 7, Santa Fe at 14-8. Number 6, Arbondale at 16-7. 5, Jordan Christian Prep 20-5. 4, Lake Region 17-4. 3, Victory at 18-4. And 2, Lakeland at 18-3. And 1, Winter Haven at 18-4. Once again, Winter Haven 1, Lakeland 2, Victory 3, Lake Region 4, Jordan Christian Prep 5, Arbondale 6, Santa Fe 7, Bartow 8, Davenport 9, Lake Placid 10. Any thoughts on the top 10, Coach?
Coach, the top three are very good teams. No knock to everybody that's behind them. I think there's an argument from 4 on down when you start looking at scheduling, strength of schedule, teams that they beat, teams that they lost to. This was a lot tougher this week than it has been. But like I said, we try to do the best that we can. Um, but shout out to those teams in the top 10.
Shout out, man. So, all right. So we'll post that the top 10 tomorrow, and we also will post 11 through 25. I don't know if Juice on here or not, but and Tyrell on here or not, but we will post 11 through 25 tomorrow. So, all right. So before we jump into the week that is to come, we'll do the prime time performance for last week. Had a few of our student athletes that did well. So we want to make sure and get them their just due. Starting look at Tyrell. We got Jaquan Cross from Jenkins had 23 points versus Ridge. Malachi Broffett had 22 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals. Malachi Broff from Kathleen had 22 points, 4 rebounds, 2 steals versus Jenkins. Dylan James had 17 points, 10 rebounds, 8 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists versus IMG Blue. Zay Mosley from Jordan Christian Prep, 29 points, 17 rebounds, 4 assists versus Excel. D'Angelo Parker from Jordan Christian Prep, 24 points, 14 rebounds versus Excel. Seth Matthews from Discovery, 25 points versus Ambassador Christian. And Alex Sessoms from McKeel, career high 30 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, 3 steals versus Excel. Those are our prime time performers for the week. That's 3, 6, 7 guys. So we'll post those. We'll post those this week as well. So congrats to those student athletes on being the Polk prime time performers for the week. All right, so we're going to move into the week that's coming as far as the games that's up. All right, and it's just me and you, Coach. So
Fine. Let's get it, Coach.
We'll get it.
We can do all of them now, Coach. Without the screen getting turned off.
All right, so tomorrow night we have Lakeland versus Tampa Bay Tech.
Lakeland. Is it at Lakeland?
It is at Lakeland, I think. Don't quote me on that, Coach. Hold on. It's at Tampa Bay Tech.
Regardless, I like Lakeland.
Yeah, I like Lakeland too. They just gonna have to square up once they win to get out of there. Um, or is that Lakeland and they good then? They had to go to Tampa and Tech, boys. You gotta be back to back. You walk up out of there, you gotta step the same time. Um, Also on tomorrow night, this done turned into an interesting game that probably wasn't 2 weeks ago. Kathleen at Lake Wells. Both teams have additions, so they're not the same team that they were.
And Lake Wells, it's Lake Wells been interesting because they've been world beaters against some people recently, and then they dropped the game on Saturday.
Right, you don't know what you're gonna get, who you gonna get.
Mm. Is that Lake Wells, Coach? Is that Kathleen?
Is that Lake Wells?
I'm gonna take Lake Wells. That Lake Wells. Kathleen can't turn the air off.
Yeah, I think I like Lake Wells on the road. Kathleen turned into a little scary little team though. With if
Yeah, definitely.
if they can get Nixon back, they got 16 and what 6'6".
Yeah,
Um, yeah, they can sneak up on they might sneak up on some people. But anyway, uh, next we got the next night on Tuesday night we got Sebring at Lake Wells. We got three good games on Tuesday night. Look like Sebring and Lake Wells. That's first.
mm, I like Sebring in that one.
I think I like Sebring too. Also, we got Santa Fe at Orlando Bishop Moore.
Let's come back to that one, Coach. Let me see what Bishop Moore working with.
Okay. And then this also on Tuesday night. This is the first of the, as we call it, the Hell Week for Winter Haven. They have OCP coming into town. OCP at Winter Haven on Tuesday night. Need to come at that one too.
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna take Winter Haven at home.
Like Winter Haven knock off OCP.
Yeah, I got Winter Haven knocking them off at home.
I was saying earlier, Coach, I like Winter Haven too. I can't tell you why. I don't know nothing about OCP other than their reputation. But for some reason, I like Winter Haven too. So I'm gonna go with Winter Haven also. Um, all right, on Wednesday we have a it's a top 10 matchup now. We got Jordan Christian Prep at Lake Placid.
I got JCP
Yeah, I like JCP too.
and Bishop Moore Santa Fe, Coach. I'm going with Santa Fe
Okay. On the road.
on the road. I like Santa Fe.
Okay. I like Santa Fe too, because Santa Fe can shoot it. I don't even know nothing about Bishop Moore. Some of these picks, when I be picking, I'm very biased toward the county. So sometimes I pick and don't know nothing about the out of county team they playing, and that's probably what my record be looking like it do. But I'm okay with that. On Thursday, we have a couple interesting games. I think anyway. Another second of Winter Haven. They got the Rock comes to Winter Haven. You can come back to that one too, Coach.
Yeah,
Yeah, look the Rock up. Okay.
see who they played this
That's
year.
actually on a Friday. They playing them on Friday. So they're doing Friday at home, and they're doing Saturday at the Mosaic. All right. So while you doing that, we're gonna transition into the Mosaic, and we're not gonna pick every game. Or should we pick every game? I guess it says PG not on here. We can pick every game. Okay. Because the PG was there, we couldn't do it. So let me pull up the schedule first. The Rock got some. Coach Bird said the Rock got some gangsters. I don't know nothing about the Rock like at all. So I just know. I just know that's going to be another hell week game for them. Because I mean, you go from OCP to the Rock. Some people. Yeah, we ain't got we ain't PG on here, so we can pick all the games. Let me look up the let me get the what's name the the mosaic schedule so we can pick out. We'll talk about it. Pick all of them.
I'm gonna still take Winter Haven, coach.
Against the Rock.
Yeah.
Okay, that's I'm gonna take Winter Haven. Either. I know nothing about the Rock. I'm taking Coach Blicker and
They
what's up, Brad?
beat
What's up,
they
Brad?
beat the IMG blue team by 3. So I'm thinking they kind of even with them, and so that's
Yeah,
the reference that I'm using.
okay. I'm just picking blind. It's Winter Haven. It's at home. It's Polk County. I know absolutely nothing about the Rock, but I know a whole lot about Winter Haven, so I'm gonna pick Winter Haven in that one. All right, so we're going to the mosaic, and a couple of kind of notes about the mosaic this year. That's a little that we are kind of proud of because we're Polk County, so we don't mind being proud of our product. Um, so with the mosaic, give me a second, y'all. Let me give y'all a little promo. Pull it up. So in the mosaic, 12 of the 23 teams that's going to be in the mosaic are ranked in the top 91 of the state out of 650 teams. So 12, half of the teams, more than half of the teams are ranked in the top 90 for the entire state. That'll be in Bartow next weekend. And if you count Santa Fe like at 100, so you got 13 of the top 23 in the state. That'll be that'll be next. That'll be in Bartow this weekend. So very high powered event put on by Bartow High School as always. So let's look at who's gonna be there and let's discuss it. So the first game on Friday we have Clearwater at Discovery. Who you like, Coach?
Oh, coach, I do know that Discovery is not healthy,
Okay,
which is probably one of the reasons
they're struggling.
they're struggling right now. Um, Looking at Clearwater's record, they're not very good either.
I'm gonna take Discovery just cause it's the county. Once again, I don't know nothing about Me too, Nuke. Hopefully the county show up and support the event. It's a real high quality, great event. So hopefully people get out and check it out. So
Okay, coach. So I guess we're gonna take the county in this one.
yeah. All right. Next one on Friday night will be Port Charlotte versus George Jenkins.
You heard anything about them, coach?
I heard nothing about Port Charlotte. I know Jenkins play hard, and because of that, I'm gonna take Jenkins.
Yeah, I think they played each other last year or the year before, and Jenkins was able to pull that one out.
Yeah, I like Jenkins. Friday night, the people got to drive up. Jenkins just right down the road, so I like Jenkins in that.
All right, so they are 14-7.
Uh oh. Wait a minute. I still like Jenkins though. I still like Jenkins. I still like Jenkins.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jenkins too.
Okay.
So Jet, you on the clock, bro? Don't let me down.
All right. So the 7:30 game on Friday is Windermere versus Bartow.
Windermere, coach.
That's the people Windermere. That is
Yeah,
two Windermeres. Windermere Prep.
and both of them ranked in the top 20 in the state. Both of them are. I think
Yeah,
Windermere is
I
like
hate I hate picking against the state. I mean, I hate picking against the
I
county,
hate picking against them too.
but yeah, like you say, kind of got to be real though. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go with Windermere too. Uh, oh, they both them both of them people, Windermere Prep and Windermere them people.
Like I said, I looked at it earlier today, and both of them in the top 20, coach, in the state now. Oh, Windermere is 20, and Windermere Prep was somewhere up there too. The Windermere Prep is 30 in the state. So, like I said, I'm picking Windermere.
All right, so I'm gonna go with Windermere also. Sorry, Barton. And then the nightcap game of the night for Friday will be. Sheesh, Windermere Prep is a problem, huh? In the
Yeah,
Romney region. Um, Orlando Christian Prep, their second trip to Polk County this week. Orlando Christian Prep versus Lakeland.
coach, I'm gonna help the Bear coach.
You got the bell.
I got the Bear coach.
Yeah, that's gonna be a really good game.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a knockout drag out.
That's gonna be a really good game. That Isaiah, that Isaiah Brown kid.
Oh, coach, he legit.
Who does? Who does? Okay, put your coaching hat on. Who do you put on him?
I think I mean I would put Rowe on him, but I think you got multiple people that can guard him.
How big is he? Go like 6'5", right?
Yeah,
So you put Rowe in that take away what Rowe does for you though. If you put him, he gonna be wore out
I
trying to
don't
check
think
him
so,
up.
coach. Man, Rowe's an athlete, coach. He can go all day.
So if it's you, you line the Rowe up on him.
If I don't line him up on him early, definitely when it gets crunch time, Rowe will be on him.
Coach Hagan say does OCP still have left? Um,
I know the big kid left, the really tall kid. I think he was like a 7 footer. I know he went to IMG. Um, I don't know what's left on their roster.
okay. So I think Lakeland gonna knock them off too, but it's not the same from what I've read and seen. It's not the same OCP of past years, which is contrary to the All-State PG viewpoint. That's why I think Victory has a real shot against them, probably better than they done had in the last couple of years. Because Victory, like you was just saying about Andino, Victory got some other guys that can score if need be. So, I mean, the more points that LJ um, puts up, I think the better chance they got to lose, if that makes sense. So the fact that you got other guys that can score, I think it's Victory in good shape. Having said they still, I mean, it's still OCP, so it's going to be it's still going to be a headline type game. But I like Lakeland also. I like Lakeland for the win. All right, so then we moving on to Saturday, the matinee games, the brunch games, the breakfast games. 10 o'clock game is Dr. Phillips versus Kathleen.
Kathleen.
Yeah, I like Kathleen too. Um, the 11:30 game, which turned into probably a more entertaining game than we thought. Leesburg versus Lake Wells.
I like Leesburg.
Like Leesburg over Lake Wells.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing about Leesburg, but I'm gonna take Lake Wells. It's early in the morning. They got a shorter drive. I think I got Rosado giving them 40 in a win. Leesburg like to get up and down, so that's gonna be more of the Rosado game, Bash game. Next game, one of our honorary Polk County teams. And this might be this. I think this can end up being one of the better games of the day, Coach. I don't know about you, but Plant City versus Sebring. Plant City ain't bad like at all. They just in Winter Haven's region, but and they district too. But Plant City, I think they like 18-3 or 19-3, something like that.
Yeah,
18.
they just had a buzzer beater the other day that I seen
Yeah,
on
they ain't bad
Facebook.
at all, coach.
I like Plant City in that game though.
Yeah, I like Plant City too. Nothing against Sebring, but Plant City got a nice little team over there. But I think that might end up being one of the better games of the day that nobody talking about. We'll see. But all right, next game at 2:30. 2:30 is Newsom versus Santa Fe. And Newsom also got a pretty good record. They doing a pretty good. They having a pretty good season too.
Yeah, they have a pretty good season. I heard that's probably who Winter Haven play in the either them or Plant City in the district championship.
Newsom got a nice team. That's going to be a good. Them and Santa Fe. That's going to be another good game too.
They
Uh,
20-2. They beat Plant City.
I'm just. I ain't seen them. I'm just. I'm very biased. I'm picking Santa Fe, and I have no clue what Newsom got. But I'm picking Santa Fe just cause they from Polk County. But I know Newsom got a nice team, but I just think that Santa Fe got what Newsom don't got, and that's guys that live in Polk County. For
I'm
me,
going with Newsom, coach.
you got Newsom.
Yeah, I got Newsom.
Okay, you got Newsom, and I got Santa Fe. Let's write it down. I got
That's
Coach.
gonna be a good game.
I think it's gonna be a real good game, Coach. I think it's gonna be a real good game. Coach, you took Leesburg, and I took Lake West. Make sure I'm keeping it on. I just know that Santa Fe them play some people, and they live in Polk County, and Newsom 20-2, but nothing in Hillsborough County to me at 20-2. I know they ain't played people that Santa Fe don't play. So for me, that's enough. Like I said, I ain't seen them. I ain't seen them at all. So I don't know what they got, but that's what I'm going with. I know that's not the best way to pick. And
No, it's not. Like I said, it's just a prediction. It's a shot in the
yeah,
dark.
yeah. That's
I'm
gonna
I'm kind of guessing they're gonna look like each other. So it's gonna really come down to who knocking down shots.
knock down shots. All right. So the 4 o'clock game, or is it four? Or is it 5?
4:30.
4:30 game is Miami New Orleans.
Just keep going, coach. Just keep going. Just keep going, coach. Focus. Focus.
Mr. Ryder just come in, man. You just never know when he coming and what he gonna say, but you know it's gonna be about Bart. So anyway, Miami New Orleans versus Arvindale.
I know Norland. I'm picking Norland, coach. They got a good junior class that can really go. But I know they've been up and down. But I'm gonna go with Norland.
Um, and I'm based off of the personnel and injury stuff that Arvindale dealing with, which you hate for Coach E. He's doing it, this time of the season. But because of that, I'm gonna go with Norland also. Um, Coach Blicker, he, I guess he back with Bart, so things swing both ways, kind of how the wind going. Um, all right, so the next game, the 6 o'clock game, and I don't know if this has ever happened, Coach, but the 6 o'clock game will be Tampa Berkeley Prep versus Bartow. Have you ever seen a time where Bartow has given up the 7:30 time slot on Saturday night?
Who plays at 7:30, coach?
Uh, the teams or the players?
Just the teams.
Victor and Olympia.
No, I have never seen Bartow
He's
give
never
up that slot.
done that. And I know why he's doing it. And shout out to McGriff for listening, for being receptive. I know we kind of talked to him behind the scenes off the air about giving the people what he wants. And at the end of the day, that's what you're doing for this event. But I've never seen Bartow not play the
No.
7:30 7:30 game. So that's breaking news first of all. But having said that, Bartow, Tampa Berkeley Prep versus Bartow. Shout out to Coach McGrill for giving the people what they want, even if it means it's not what he normally does. So,
Yeah.
yeah, this is like breaking news. I don't know if people even picked up on that he got out of
They
that spot.
usually have the second to the last game on
He used to have
Saturday.
a 7:30 game on Saturday night, Coach. Now we all talked to him off the air, and we're like, Coach, this is what the folks want. He's like, well, Coach, we want to get the people what they want. So shout out to Coach McGrill, Bartow. I know Bartow people probably wasn't happy about it, but it's good for business. But anyway, Berkeley Prep, Bartow. I know nothing about Berkeley Prep. Coach, what you know about Berkeley Prep? They got a squad.
From Max Preps, they're 18-2. They beat Windermere earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
The last time Bartow lost both games at the Mosaic. Has that ever happened?
I can't say that it has.
That's tough. That's a trivia question.
I'm gonna take Berkeley though, Coach.
Yeah, yeah. I like Berkeley too. Berkeley usually one of them Hillbrook County teams that actually can play. Some of them Hillbrook County teams be like frauds, but Berkeley Prep don't usually be a fraud. They usually can get it a little bit. All right, PG. Coach Blicker said the PG for Berkeley Prep pretty good. Kimball. See, I like Berkeley too. If this happened, well, that'd be the first time Barton lost both games in the Mosaic. I don't know when that has ever happened. But yeah, Berkeley Prep can play a little bit. Little George. Okay. So we got Berkeley Prep got a PG that's gonna be tough for Bartow to deal with. Is Bartow healthy yet? Is everybody playing that's supposed to be playing?
The They have a team that they're gonna have for the remainder of the year.
They had a team for the stretch run.
Yes. Are they full speed? Full speed? I would say no.
Okay. Um, that's why we just that's why we just asked Mr. Riley, are they full? Are they help? Are they got the team they supposed to have? We know they've been hurt all year, so I ain't know if they had all their guys back yet or not. So, yeah, that's gonna be tough for Bart to lose both of them. I ain't never. It's hard to go against Coach McGriff Newt. I'm right there with you. But I'm gonna go with Berkeley. And that's tough for me to say. That's real tough for me to say. But all right. I guess the headline game for the night. I don't know if it's the headline game for the teams, but it's definitely. But they both really good teams though. So I guess it should be extremely entertaining for the fans, which is what we want the Mosaic to be. But you have Olympia versus Victory. You have Jizzle James versus LJ, which is the matchup I guess that everybody
Yeah,
been
wants
on
to
the
see.
scene all year. So shout out to Coach McGriff for first of all getting it situated. And then shout out to Coach McGriff for giving it the headline 7:30 game, moving his game out the way so the folks can see what they've been wanting to see. Two heavyweights going at it. What's your thoughts on Olympia versus Victory, Coach?
Oh, Coach, man, the Olympia top 5 team in the state, Coach. Matter of fact, they only lost one game, and guess who that's been to?
That's the one having.
That's the one I Haven. You know what I'm saying? I expect um a classic matchup between Jizzle and LJ. But I think it's not gonna come down to them two. It's gonna come down to the other players. So whoever shows up outside of them two is gonna win that game.
So they both cancel each other out.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. But I'm taking Olympia though.
So Jizzle, what's the over under for both of them getting 40?
Both
Coach,
of them.
Because it's gonna be wall to wall. It's gonna be that atmosphere gonna be
Yeah, I don't think both to get 40. LJ probably go for 40, but Jizzle don't have to score 40 for that team to win.
okay. but if LJ, the more LJ score though, I just stand on it. The more that LJ scores,
It's gonna fuel him.
it's gonna fuel Jizzle. But the
Mm.
more he scores, does that lessen um, Victor's chance to win? The more he scores, because that means the other people just watching.
And coach, you need somebody to step up. Also, he's gonna need help in that game, coach, because it's more than just Jizzle on that team.
Yeah, so you're gonna need Andino, you're gonna need a little Nick kid, you're gonna need a
Mhm.
couple folks to kind of come through for him. Okay. I just I want to pick Victor so bad.
Go on, pick him, coach. It's
I
okay.
want to pick Victor so bad. I'm gonna pick Victory, man. I know I'm biased. I'm gonna pick Victory. Based off who they done played, it won't be the first time they done played a great team. They done played some great teams before out this year. So I'm gonna pick Victory. I might be off on that, but come on, fifth year. Don't let me down, coach. Don't let me down. Don't let me down. All right, in the nightcap, last game of the night, Tampa Catholic versus Winter Haven. Got another phenom coming from Hillsborough County, the Carter Cox kid going against a couple of phenoms in Winter Haven. So is it just Tampa Catholic don't have enough, or what we think? I think that's
I
going
don't
to be
think
another good game too.
I don't think they have enough. Now the not scared probably top 10, top 15 in the country in that junior class, and he is legit. I'm not gonna take nothing away from him, but them as a team, I don't think they have enough to beat Winter Haven. I think Victory has beat them already this year.
Yeah, Victory beat Tampa Catholic. So it's going to be entertaining for Knox and Celadon. That's going to be a good look. But overall, Winter Haven just too strong across the board. And by now, Winter Haven done played everybody they can play besides Columbus. So I definitely like Winter Haven also in that one. When they even go 3-0 this week, and they hell week, bro. That's a good look getting ready to go into the playoffs. They got OCP, The Rock, and Tampa Catholic. Definitely can't say they ducking nobody. Which we can't. They ain't ducking nobody all year, but so overall, once again, 13 of the 23 teams in the Mosaic are ranked in the top 100 for the overall in the state, not the region, the state. So very high quality event. Make sure y'all get over there and check it out and support Polk County basketball. Hopefully, we win um, the state. I think we lost it last year, so hopefully we can reclaim it. We can reclaim it this year. So, coach, as we get ready to log off, I know you got work to do this week to get ready. The playoffs is now here. So we will post the girls stuff. We'll Tampa Capital such an up and down team, Coach Jones. They beat people and they lose. I mean, they playing people, but they beating them and they losing too. So it's like you don't know what you're gonna get. You know what you're gonna get with Knox, but the rest of them they just a roller coaster type team. So anyway, we got girls up this week. Some of the districts start tomorrow. Most of the rest of them start on Tuesday. We'll post them daily on the page as far as who plays where and who does what. So good luck to all the ladies. It's y'all time this week. Some of y'all gonna be moving on. Some of y'all gonna be putting your jerseys to the left, shorts to the right. Hopefully it's not you. But if it is, hey man, reflection. So, coach, any last words before we jump off?
Nah, coach, you know what I'm saying? Let's be grateful and thankful, for what we do have and not for what we don't have.
Always be thankful and grateful. That's a great way to end it. I can't even top that. So appreciate y'all rocking with us again tonight, man. As always, young ladies on the court, good luck this week in your district tournaments. Young men that's finishing up the regular season, finish strong so you can get ready for yours next week. Hope everybody stays injury free. Hope everybody stays, healthy and do your very best job. The worst thing you can do is say that the game is over and you could have did a little more. So do all you can to help your team be the best that they can. So till next week, we appreciate y'all rocking with us. We do not take it for granted. On behalf of the coach and the PG, we want to say appreciate y'all, man, and y'all be safe. Till next time, for Coops, we out. Y'all be safe.